Hi, thanks for joining me as I walk you through the new design of Pearson's MyHistoryLab. MyHistoryLab is a comprehensive, user-friendly, assessment-driven application, but even more so than that is it's proven. Millions of students have used the Pearson MyLabs and have seen improved results, and educators that use the Pearson MyLabs find that their students not only get better grades, but it makes their class preparation a lot easier. So now that I've got your interest, I'd like to walk you through a couple of the key features of MyHistoryLab. What you're looking at right now, this is the home page. This is where you and your students will go to get started. And just a couple things to point out here. You'll notice that when you log in, everything that you need and your students need to get started are contained on the home page. So you've got the support page, information about the lab, and then same thing for you. But also the browser tune-up, because this is what's going to make sure that your students experience the lab in a way that will not be frustrating. And also it won't cause you to get those emails of wanting to know why things aren't working. So pop-up blockers, correct browsers, all of those features are contained within the browser tune-up. As I mentioned before about the proven results, you can go here to find out about what students are seeing, the results that the instructors are finding that the students are improving. What you're going to find with MyHistoryLab is a lot of tools that you can use to gauge individual and class performance. So this is really going to be the best digital learning experience for your class. Let's go ahead and get logged in. I have set you guys up with your own individual accounts, but for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to log into my account. And we're going to take a look at the Keen book, The Visions of America, that you guys all have access to. This is a great textbook, as you've seen, with all of the visuals that really walk it through. But when your students log in and when you log in, you all both have the same experience. It's going to look the same way. Again, first thing that they're going to notice is the browser tune-up, but then also the user guides. So that frustration that students might come across, or you may come across as you're going through the program and I'm not here to help you, you know where you can go to get the help that you need. There are a lot of assignments, as I mentioned, to keep the students engaged. You'll notice over here on the left-hand side, it walks, kind of lists everything out. And we're on the home page right now, but I want to walk you through the e-text. And this is kind of the nuts and the bolts of the Pearson Labs, because students and instructors have access to a complete e-text. It looks exactly like the printed book, only it functions in an interactive way. So the e-text is completely searchable. Students can highlight within the e-text, and they can also take notes. Now that the book is opened, I can point out to you the icons. The highlighting icon, the note-taking icon, this lets students know you can put notes in here as well, but then also it's interactive. So again, you have the videos right here, the critical visions, you also have the audio chapters. All of these are contained, but then students can also search through the textbook for certain things, and you can flip the pages just like you would flip a regular book. So again, everything is interactive. And this way students can access the text anytime that they need to. So that's just a real quick overview of the e-text. The other thing that's nice about the labs is that students also have access to a complete audio book. So again, nowadays there's so many different learning styles, and even just for students maybe that want to listen on the go, they have access to complete audio chapters. So everything that's written in the printed text is spoken in the audio text. I'll just click on one of these real quick here as a
Images as History, a portrait of colonial aspirations. Justus Engelhard Kuhn's portrait of the young Henry Darnall III, 1710, reveals how the aspirations of colonists continued.
Okay, so that gives you an idea of the audio text. Now, you notice there's a lot of information over here, but one of the things that is key about the Pearson Labs is the ability for instructors to really customize and personalize the course. So if you know that you're not going to be covering the majority of the features or the resources, all you need to do is go to Modify, Add and Arrange, and you can archive or hide what you know that you won't want to have available. And once you do that, you'll notice that it's gone on the other side. So now that I've taken those other tools out, you have a much more streamlined look at the lab. But don't worry, once you've removed the items, you can always restore them. So I took out the study plans, course content, and you can just restore those back. And now they're back where they were. So, which brings me to the next feature that I would want to show you, and that is the assignability of the resources. It's really easy to assign content. So you'll see each chapter has all of the assignments available. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And so for example, to assign the e-text, you just would drop it over, and it shows up on the student's assignment calendar, so that way they know when they log into their lab exactly what they have due on that particular day. And as an instructor, it's very easy for you to assign the different resources. So you have all of the media assignments, which that will bring me to the next resource. The closer look feature is a great tool for students to really understand and to get a really in-depth look at the resources or the materials that are within the textbook, things like the maps, images, primary sources. So let's just take an example here.
In his painting, The Topsy-Turvy World, Jan Steen conjures up a chaotic household that seems to be the exact opposite of the ideals of domestic tranquility, godliness, and order.
So you see that with the
What
closer
moral
look,
lessons does this painting teach, and how does the artist visually represent the vices of city life in Hong Kong?
so you see with the closer look feature, it really zooms in and it discusses it, and it gives students a much better understanding so that they can really uncover the meaning of those historically important materials and understand the context from which it's being portrayed in the textbook. So with the closer look features, that's a great way for students that, especially if they need a little bit more remediation, to get a little extra help. And then finally, the study plan and course content. This is a way for an instructor to just simply say, take the study plan, let the students kind of run with it on their own. And by doing the study plan, the students will take a pre-test, they answer the questions, and then based upon how they do in that pre-test, then it will create a study plan that's personalized just for them. So practice, practice, practice. That's what it all boils down to. The more that they do, the better that the students will do in your course. And just to let you know that, it's a lot of information, and, I've just kind of really touched on the basics of it. So what I'd like for you to do is get a little bit more in depth by playing around with the account that I have set up for you, and then I can always come back and do a more in-depth training. But this is a real quick overview of some of the basic features of MyHistoryLab, and thank you for your time.